Chapter 31. 1 Jacob heard Laban's son's words, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's. He has obtained all this wealth from that which was our father's. 2 Jacob saw the expression on Laban's face, and, behold, it was not towards him as before. 3 The Lord said to Jacob, Return to the land of your fathers, and to your relatives, and I will be with you. For Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field to his flock. 5 And said to them, I see the expression on your father's face, that it is not towards me as before, but the God of my father has been with me. 6 You know that I have served your father with all of my strength. 7 Your father has deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times, but God didn't allow him to hurt me. 8 If he said, The speckled will be your wages, then all the flock bore speckled. If he said, The streaked will be your wages, then all the flock bore streaked. 9 Thus God has taken away your father's livestock, and given them to me. 10 During mating season, I lifted up my eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the male goats which leapt on the flock were streaked, speckled, and grizzled. 11 The angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob, and I said, Here I am. 12 He said, Now lift up your eyes, and behold, all the male goats which leap on the flock are streaked, speckled, and grizzled, for I have seen all that Laban does to you. 13 I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar, where you vowed a vow to me. Now arise, get out from this land, and return to the land of your birth. 14 Rachel and Leah answered him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? 15 Aren't we considered as foreigners by him? For he has sold us, and has also used up our money. 16 For all the riches which God has taken away from our father are ours and our children's. Now then, whatever God has said to you, do. 17 Then Jacob rose up, and set his sons and his wives on the camels. 18 And he took away all his livestock, and all his possessions which he had gathered, including the livestock which he had gained in Paddan Aram, to go to Isaac his father, to the land of Canaan. 19 Now Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole the teraphim that were her father's. 20 Moreover Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean, in that he did not tell him he was fleeing. 21 He fled with all that he had, he crossed the river, and set his face toward the hill country of Gilead. 22 It happened that on the 3rd day Laban was told that Jacob had fled. 23 He took his brethren and pursued him for 7 days' journey, and caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. 24 God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream by night and said to him, Take heed that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. 25 Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country, and Laban with his brethren camped in the hill country of Gilead. 26 Laban said to Jacob, What have you done in hiding, and deceived me, and carried away my daughters as captives of the sword? 27 Why did you flee secretly and steal away from me, and did not tell me, that I might have sent you away with mirth and with singing, with tambourine and with lyre? 28 You did not allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Now you have done foolishly. 29 It is in the power of my hand to do you harm, but the God of your father said to me last night, Take heed to yourself that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. 30 Now you have gone because you greatly longed after your father's house, but why did you steal my gods? 31 Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Perhaps you will take your daughters from me by force. 32 And with whomsoever you find your gods, let him not live. In the presence of our brethren discern what is yours. 33 Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the gods. 34 Laban went into Jacob's tent, into Leah's tent, into Rachel's tent, and he searched all the tents thoroughly, but he did not find them. 35 Now Leah and Rachel had taken the teraphim and put them in the camel's saddle, and sat upon them, and Laban searched, but did not find them. 36 Then Jacob was angry and chastised Laban, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin, that you have searched your servants and your women with such rigor? 37 For you had searched all my things, what was in my house, and what was with me. Now have you found all your household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and your brethren, and let them judge between us both. 38 These 20 years I have been with you, your ewes and your female goats have not miscarried, and the rams of your flock have not failed to breed. 39 That which was torn of beasts I did not bring to you, I bore the loss of it myself. From my hand you required it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. 40 Thus I was, in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. 41 Thus 20 years I have been in your house, I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, and you changed my wages 10 times. 42 Had not God taken your livestock, but the God of my father was with me. 43 And God had seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and God rebuked you last night. 44 And it came to pass, when God had rebuked Laban the Aramean by night, that he blessed Jacob the morning after. 45 Then Laban answered and said to Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, these flocks are my flocks, and all that you see is mine. Yet what can I do today to these my daughters, or to their children whom they have borne? 46 Come now, let us make a covenant, you and I, and let it be for a witness between you and me. 47 So Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. 48 Jacob said to his brethren, Gather stones. So they took stones, and made a heap, and they ate there upon the heap. 49 Laban called it Jegar-sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. 50 Laban said, This heap is witness between you and me today. Therefore it was called Galeed. 51 And Mizpah, because he said, May the Lord watch between you and me, when we are absent one from another. 52 If you afflict my daughters, or if you take wives besides my daughters, though no one else be with us, see, God is witness between you and me. 53 Laban said to Jacob, Here is this heap, and here is this pillar which I have set between you and me. 54 This heap is witness, and this pillar is witness, that I will not pass over this heap to you, and that you will not pass over this heap and this pillar to me, for harm. 55 May the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. Chapter 32 1 Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. 2 When he saw them, Jacob said, This is God's army. He called the name of that place Mahanaim. 3 Jacob sent messengers in front of him to Esau, his brother, to the land of Seir, the field of Edom. For he commanded them, saying, This is what you shall tell my lord, Esau, this is what your servant, Jacob, says. I have lived as a foreigner with Laban, and stayed until now. 5 I have cattle, donkeys, flocks, male servants, and female servants. I have sent to tell my lord, that I may find favor in your sight. 6 The messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to your brother Esau. He is also coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. 7 Then Jacob became greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people who were with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, into 2 camps. 8 He said, If Esau comes to the one camp and attacks it, then the camp that is left will escape. 9 Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, Lord who said to me, Return to your country and to your relatives, and I will do you good. 10 I am not worthy of the least of all the loving kindnesses and of all the faithfulness you have shown to your servant. For with my staff I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become 2 camps. 11 Deliver me, please, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I am afraid of him, that he may come and strike me, parent with children. 12 And you said, I will surely do you good, and make your descendants as the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted because of the multitude. 13 So he lodged there that night, and took from what he had with him a present for Esau, his brother. 14 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams. 15 30 milch camels and their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. 16 He put them into the care of his servants, every herd by itself, and said to his servants, Go ahead of me, and keep a space between the herds. 17 He commanded the first, When my brother Esau meets you and asks, To whom belong you, and where are you going, and whose are these in front of you? 18 You shall say, They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a present to my lord Esau. He is coming behind us. 19 He told the second, the third and all the others who followed the herds, the same thing. 20 He also said, Be sure to say, Your servant Jacob is coming behind us. For he thought, I will pacify him by the present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face, perhaps he will accept me. 21 So the present passed over before him, and he remained that night in the camp. 22 He rose up that night and passed over the ford of the Jabbok, taking his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossing the stream, he sent them across the ford. 23 He sent over all that he had. He remained alone. Then a man wrestled with him until daybreak. 24 When he saw that he did not prevail against him, he struck the socket of his hip. Jacob's hip was wrenched as he wrestled with him. 25 The man said, Let me go, for daybreak has come. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. 26 He asked him, What is your name? He answered, Jacob. 27 The man said, Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men, and have prevailed. 28 Jacob asked, Please tell me your name. But he said, Why is it that you ask my name? Then he blessed him there. 29 Jacob named the place Peniel, saying, I have seen God face to face, yet my life has been preserved. 30 As he passed over Peniel the sun rose on him, and he limped on his hip. 31 Therefore to this day the Israelites do not eat the tendon which is on the socket of the hip, because he struck Jacob's hip at the socket of the tendon. 32 That is the full account of Jacob's struggle, and likewise of his children. Chapter 33 1 Jacob lifted his eyes and saw Esau, and with him were 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 female servants. 2 He put the female servants and their children in front, Leah and her children after them, and Rachel and Joseph last of all. 3 He went on before them, bowed himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. For Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. 5 Esau lifted his eyes and saw the women and the children, and said, Who are those with you? Jacob said, The children whom God has graciously given your servant. 6 Then the female servants came near, they and their children, bowed themselves. 7 Leah also came near with her children, and bowed themselves, and after that Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed themselves. 8 Esau said, What do you mean by all this troop which I met? Jacob answered, To find favor in the sight of my lord. 9 Esau said, I have plenty, my brother, let what you have remain yours. 10 Jacob said, No, please, if I have now found favor in your sight, then accept my gift from my hand, for truly to see your face is like seeing the face of God, since you have received me favorably. 11 Please take my present which was brought to you, because God has been gracious to me, and because I have all. He said, Then I will accept it. 12 Jacob said, Please let us go on our way, and I will go before you. 13 But Esau said, Let me leave with you some of the people who are with me. He said, Why? Let me find favor in the sight of my lord. 14 So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. 15 Jacob journeyed to Succos, and built himself a house, and made shelters for his livestock. Therefore the name of the place is called Succos. 16 Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem in the land of Canaan, when he came from Paddan Aram, and he encamped before the city. 17 He bought the parcel of land where he pitched his tent, from the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. 18 He erected an altar there, and called it Elilohizrael. Chapter 34 1 Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. 2 Shechem the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her. He took her, lay with her, and humbled her. 3 His soul joined to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the young lady, and spoke kindly to the young lady. For Shechem spoke to his father, Hamor, saying, Get me this young lady as a wife. 5 Now Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter, and his sons were with his livestock in the field. Jacob held his peace until they came. 6 Hamor the father of Shechem went out to Jacob to talk with him. 7 The sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it. The men were grieved, and they were very angry, because he had done folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing that ought not to be done. 8 Hamor talked with them, saying, The soul of my son, Shechem, longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife. 9 Make marriages with us. Give your daughters to us, and take our daughters for yourselves. 10 You shall dwell with us, and the land will be before you. Live and trade in it, and get possessions in it. 11 Shechem said to Jacob and to his sons, Let me find favor in your eyes, and whatever you say to me I will give. 12 Ask me ever so much dowry and gift, and I will give whatever you say to me, but give the young lady to me to be my wife. 13 The sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father with deception, and said, Because he is uncircumcised, we cannot give our sister to him. 14 Only on this condition will we consent to you, if you become as we are, that every male of you be circumcised. 15 Then we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to ourselves, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. 16 But if you will not listen to us to be circumcised, we will take our daughter and be gone. 17 Their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. 18 Now the young man did not delay to do the thing, because he really delighted in Jacob's daughter. So he was more honored than all the household of his father. 19 So Hamor and Shechem his son came to the city gate of their city, and spoke to the men of their city, saying, 20 These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade in it, for the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give our daughters to them. 21 Only on this condition will the men consent to us, if we agree to be like them, to every male among us be circumcised. 22 Will not their livestock and their property and all their cattle be ours? Only let us consent to them, and they will dwell with us. 23 All who went out of the gate of his city obeyed Hamor and Shechem his son, every male was circumcised, all who went out of the gate of his city. 24 It came to pass on the 3rd day, when they were in pain, that 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, each took his sword and came upon the city boldly and killed all the males. 25 They killed Hamor and Shechem his son with the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went away. 26 The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and plundered the city, because they had defiled their sister. 27 They took their flocks and their herds and their donkeys, and everything that was in the city and in the field. 28 All their wealth and all their little ones and their wives they took captive, they plundered even all that was in the houses. 29 They took all their wealth, both people and beasts. 30 Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, You have troubled me to make me odious among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I, being few in number, they will gather themselves against me and slay me, I will be destroyed, I and my household. 31 They answered, Should he treat our sister as a harlot? Chapter 35 One God said to Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and live there. Make there an altar to God, who appeared to you when you fled from the face of Esau your brother. 2 Then Jacob said to his household, and to all who were with him, Put away the foreign gods that are among you, purify yourselves, and change your garments. 3 Let us arise, and go up to Bethel. I will make there an altar to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me on the way which I went. For they gave to Jacob all the foreign gods which were in their hands, and the rings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. 5 They traveled, and a terror of God was on the cities that were around them, and they didn't pursue the sons of Jacob. 6 So Jacob came to Luz, that is, Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan, he and all the people who were with him. 7 He built an altar there, and called the place El Bethel, because their God was revealed to him, when he fled from the face of his brother. 8 Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried below Bethel under the oak, and its name was called Allon-Bacuth. 9 God appeared to Jacob again, when he came from Paddan Aram, and blessed him. 10 God said to him, Your name is Jacob. Your name shall not be Jacob any more, but your name will be Israel. He named him Israel. 11 God said to him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations will be from you, and kings will come out of your body. 12 The land which I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I will give it to you, and to your offspring after you I will give the land. 13 God went up from him in the place where he had spoken with him. 14 Jacob set up a pillar in the place where God had spoken with him, a stone pillar, and he poured out a drink offering upon it, and poured oil upon it. 15 Jacob called the name of the place where God spoke with him, Bethel. 16 They journeyed from Bethel, and there was still some distance to come to Ephrath, and Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. 17 When she was in labor, the midwife said to her, Do not fear, for this also is a son for you. 18 As her soul departed, for she died, she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. 19 Rachel died, and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is, Bethlehem. 20 Jacob set up a pillar upon her grave, that is the pillar of Rachel's grave to this very day. 21 Israel journeyed on and pitched his tent beyond the tower of Eder. 22 While Israel lived in that land, Reuben went and lay with Bilhah his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. 23 The sons of Jacob were 12, the sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. 24 The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. 25 The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali. 26 The sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher, these are the sons of Jacob, who were born to him in Paddan Aram. Chapter 36 1 Now this is the history of the generations of Esau, that is, Edom. 2 Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, Adah the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Oholibamah the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite. 3 And Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebaioth. 4 Adah bore to Esau Eliphaz. Basemath bore Ruel. 5 Oholibamah bore Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, who were born to him in the land of Canaan. 6 Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the members of his household, with his livestock, all his animals, and all his possessions, which he had gathered in the land of Canaan, and went into a land away from his brother Jacob. 7 For their substance was too great for them to dwell together, and the land of their travels couldn't bear them because of their livestock. 8 Esau lived in the hill country of Seir. Esau is Edom. 9 This is the history of the generations of Esau the father of the Edomites in the hill country of Seir. 10 These are the names of Esau's sons, Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau, and Ruel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. 11 The sons of Eliphaz were Taman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. 12 Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These are the descendants of Adah, Esau's wife. 13 These are the sons of Ruel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the descendants of Basemath, Esau's wife. 14 These were the sons of Oholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife, she bore to Esau Jush, Jalam, and Korah. 15 These are the chiefs of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz the firstborn of Esau, chief Taman, chief Omar, chief Zepho, chief Kenaz, chief Korah, chief Gatam, chief Amalek. These are the chiefs who came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Adah. 17 These are the sons of Ruel, Esau's son, chief Nahath, chief Zerah, chief Shammah, chief Mizah. These are the chiefs who came of Ruel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Basemath. 18 These are the sons of Oholibamah, Esau's wife, chief Jush, chief Jalam, chief Korah. These are the chiefs who came of Oholibamah the daughter of Anna, Esau's wife. 19 These are the sons of Esau, that is, Edom, and these are their chiefs. 20 These are the sons of Seir the Horite, the inhabitants of the land, Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishon. These are the chiefs who came of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. 22 The children of Lotan were Hori and Heman. Lotan's sister was Timnah. 23 These are the children of Shobal, Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. 24 These are the children of Zibeon, Aiah and Anna. This is Anna who found the hot springs in the wilderness, as he fed the donkeys of Zibeon his father. 25 These are the children of Anna, Dishon and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anna. 26 These are the children of Dishon, Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Cheran. 27 These are the children of Ezer, Bilhan, Zavan, and Akan. 28 These are the children of Dishon, Uzi and Aaron. 29 These are the chiefs of the Horites, the chiefs Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishon. These are the chiefs who came of Hori, among their chiefs in the land of Seir. 31 These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom, before any king reigned over the Israelites. 32 Bela the son of Beer reigned in Edom, the name of his city being Dinhabah. 33 Bela died, and Jobab the son of Zerah of Bozrah reigned in his place. 34 Jobab died, and Husham of the land of the Temanites reigned in his place. 35 Husham died, and Hadad the son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, reigned in his place, the name of his city being Avith. 36 Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his place. 37 Samlah died, and Shaul of Rehoboth on the Euphrates reigned in his place. 38 Shaul died, and Baalhanan the son of Achbor reigned in his place. 39 Baalhanan the son of Achbor died, and Hadar reigned in his place. His wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, daughter of Mezahab. 40 These are the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their clans and their dwelling places, by their names, the chiefs Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Oholibamah, Elah, Pinion, Kenaz, Taman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Iram. These are the chiefs of Edom, that is, Esau, the father of Edom, according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Chapter 37 1 Jacob lived in the land of his father's travels, in the land of Canaan. 2 This is the history of the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. Joseph brought an evil report of them to their father. 3 Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a tunic of many colors. For his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, and they hated him, and couldn't speak peaceably to him. 5 Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him all the more. 6 He said to them, Please hear this dream which I have dreamed. 7 For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves came around, and bowed down to my sheaf. 8 His brothers asked him, Will you indeed reign over us? Will you indeed have dominion over us? They hated him all the more for his dreams and for his words. 9 He dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brothers, and said, Behold, I have dreamed yet another dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowed down to me. 10 He told it to his father and to his brothers. His father rebuked him, and said to him, What is this dream that you have dreamed? Will I and your mother and your brothers indeed come to bow ourselves down to the earth before you? 11 His brothers envied him, but his father kept this saying in mind. 12 Now his brothers went to pasture their father's flock near Shechem. 13 Israel said to Joseph, Are not your brothers pasturing the flock at Shechem? Come, I will send you to them. 14 So he said to him, Go now, see whether it is well with your brothers, and well with the flock, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. 15 A certain man found him wandering in the field. The man asked him, What are you looking for? 16 He said, I am looking for my brothers. Tell me, please, where they are feeding the flock. 17 The man said, They have left here, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at Dothan. 21 Reuben heard it, and delivered him out of their hand, and said, let us not kill him. 22 Reuben said to them, shed no blood. Throw him into this pit that is in the wilderness, but lay no hand on him, that he might deliver him out of their hand, to restore him to his father. 23 When Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. 24 And they took him, and threw him into the pit. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. 25 Then they sat down to eat bread. And looking up they saw a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing gum, balm, and myrrh, on their way to carry them down to Egypt. 26 Then Judah said to his brothers, what profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? 27 Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brothers listened. 28 Then Midianite traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit, and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. They brought Joseph into Egypt. 29 When Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. 30 He returned to his brothers and said, the boy isn't there, and I, where shall I go? 31 They took Joseph's tunic, killed a goat, dipped the tunic in the blood. 32 And they brought the tunic to their father and said, we found this. Do you know whether it is your son's tunic or not? 33 He recognized it and said, it is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Without doubt Joseph has been torn to pieces. 34 Then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth upon his waist and mourned for his son many days. 35 All his sons and all his daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted, and he said, for I will go down to Sheol to my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. 36 Now the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard. Chapter 38 1 At that time, Judah went down from his brothers, and visited a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira. 2 There, Judah saw the daughter of a certain Canaanite man named Shua. He took her, and went in to her. 3 She conceived, and bore a son, and he named him Er. For she conceived again, and bore a son, and she named him Onan. 5 She yet again bore a son, and named him Shelah. He was at Chezib when she bore him. 6 Judah took a wife for Er, his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. 7 Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in Yahweh's sight. Yahweh killed him. 8 Judah said to Onan, go into your brother's wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her, and raise up offspring for your brother. 9 Onan knew that the offspring wouldn't be his, and when he went in to his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground, lest he should give offspring to his brother. 10 The thing which he did was evil in Yahweh's sight, and he killed him also. 11 Then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in your father's house, until Shelah, my son, is grown up, for he said, lest he also die, like his brothers. Tamar went and lived in her father's house. 12 After many days, Shua's daughter, the wife of Judah, died. Judah was comforted, and went up to his sheep shearers to Timnah, he and his friend Hira the Adullamite. 13 Tamar was told, saying, behold, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. 14 She took off the garments of her widowhood, and covered herself with her veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in the gate of Enaim, which is on the way to Timnah, for she saw that Shelah was grown up, and she wasn't given to him as a wife. 15 When Judah saw her, he thought that she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. 16 He turned to her by the way, and said, please come, let me come in to you, for he didn't know that she was his daughter-in-law. She said, what will you give me, that you may come in to me? 17 He said, I will send you a young goat from the flock. She said, will you give me a pledge, until you send it? 18 He said, what pledge will I give you? She said, your signet and your cord, and your staff that is in your hand. He gave them to her, and came in to her, and she conceived by him. 19 She arose, and went away, and put off her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. 20 Judah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to receive the pledge from the woman's hand, but he didn't find her. 21 Then he asked the men of her place, saying, Where is the prostitute, that was at Enaim by the road? They said, There has been no prostitute here. 22 He returned to Judah, and said, I haven't found her, and also the men of the place said, There has been no prostitute here. 23 Judah said, Let her keep it, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this young goat, and you haven't found her. 24 It happened about 3 months later, that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has played the prostitute, and moreover, behold, she is with child by prostitution. Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. 25 When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, I am with child. She also said, Please discern whose are these, the signet, and the cords, and the staff. 26 Judah acknowledged them, and said, She is more righteous than I, because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. He knew her again no more. 27 It happened in the time of her travail, that behold, twins were in her womb. 28 When she travailed, one put out a hand, and the midwife took and tied a scarlet thread on his hand, saying, This came out first. 29 It happened, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out, and she said, Why have you made a breach for yourself? Therefore his name was called Perez. 30 Afterward his brother came out, that had the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah. Chapter 39 1 Joseph was brought down to Egypt. Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had brought him there. 2 The Lord was with Joseph. He became a successful man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. 3 Joseph found favor in his sight, and served him. He made him overseer of his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. For from the time that he made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. The blessing of the Lord was on all that he had, in the house and in the field. 5 He left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and didn't concern himself with anything except the food which he ate. Joseph was handsome, and well-built. 6 After a time his master's wife cast longing eyes on Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. 7 But he refused, and said to his master's wife, Look, my master doesn't know what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. 8 There is no one greater in this house than I, neither has he kept back anything from me except you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness, and sin against God? 9 When she spoke to Joseph day after day, he didn't listen to her, to lie beside her, or to be with her. 10 But it came to pass about this time, that he went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house were inside. 11 She caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. He left his garment in her hand, and fled, and went outside. 12 She saw that he left his garment in her hand, and went outside. 13 She called to the men of her house, and spoke to them, saying, See, he brought in a Hebrew to dishonor us. 14 He came in to me to lie with me, but I cried out with a loud voice. 15 When he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried out, he left his garment by me, and fled outside. 16 She laid up his garment beside her until his master came home. 17 Then she told him this story, saying, The Hebrew servant, whom you brought to us, came in to me to mock me. 18 He left his garment beside me, and fled outside. 19 When his master heard the words of his wife, which she spoke to him, saying, This is the way your servant treated me, his wrath was kindled. 20 Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined, and he was there in the prison. 21 But the Lord was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. 22 The keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners who were in the prison, and whatever was done there, he was the one who did it. 23 The keeper of the prison didn't look into anything that was under Joseph's hand, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made to prosper. Chapter 40 1 After these things, the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker offended their lord, the king of Egypt. 2 Pharaoh was angry with his 2 officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. 3 He put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. For the captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he took care of them. They stayed in prison many days. 5 They both dreamed a dream, each man his dream, in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were bound in the prison. 6 Joseph came in to them in the morning, and saw them, and saw that they were sad. 7 He asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in custody in his master's house, saying, Why do you look so sad today? 8 They said to him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. 9 Joseph said to them, Don't interpretations belong to God? Please tell it to me. 10 So the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was in front of me. 10 And in the vine were 3 branches. It was as though it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters produced ripe grapes. 11 Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. 12 Joseph said to him, This is its interpretation, the 3 branches are 3 days. 13 Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head, and restore you to your office. You will give Pharaoh's cup into his hand, the way you did when you were his cupbearer. 14 But remember me when it is well with you. Please show kindness to me, and make mention of me to Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. 15 For indeed, I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. 16 When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said to Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, 3 baskets of white bread were on my head. 17 In the uppermost basket there were all kinds of baked food for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head. 18 Joseph answered, This is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. 19 Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from off you, and will hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat your flesh from off you. 20 On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. 21 He restored the chief cupbearer to his cupbearing, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. 22 But he hanged the chief baker, just as Joseph had interpreted to them. 23 Yet did not the chief cupbearer remember Joseph, but forgot him.